Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stared, the way you rolled up for me, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up, we should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus, don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Boy, you take me on a trip. Always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right. But when you go left, I'm stuck here feeling left behind.
Through thick and thin, for better or for worse. After 20 plus years of marriage and 3 children, my parents are sharing their love, care, and wisdom throughout the world. Spreading this love won't be hard for them because it's simply in their DNA. I present Donnell and Angelic Jackson.
Hey, welcome to Divine DNA, everybody. I'm one of your hosts. Donnell is my beautiful, beautiful queen.
Angelique.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Yes. I'll say hello, Miss
Brittany.
Hey, Brittany. Okay, Sacred and Secrets. Yes. Welcome in, everybody. Mr. What's this?
Hi, Michelle.
Michael. Is that Michael or Michelle?
No, Michelle.
Oh, my bad. I read it wrong. I apologize.
Hi, healing over everything.
Welcome in. Gotcha. So today is the final episode of the Survivor series.
Yes. Part 4, the finale.
The aftermath.
But we get to hear, we've heard all of the horror, the pain, and now we get to hear about the healing and the joy.
Exactly. But before we do that, we want to just make a couple announcements. Next week, we are actually going to have the Royal Council back. Yes, the Royal Council will be returning.
Yes.
And what are we talking about on the Royal Council?
The subject that we're going to discuss is, can you be friends with a cheater? Can a cheater be trusted as a friend? That is going to be our subject next week. Yes.
So we'll be back with some members of the Royal Council. Will be coming back through next week. And then after that week, the second week, we're going to have some businesses up here, some soon-to-boom businesses, some businesses that we've supported in the past and we still support now to this day.
We're going to get ready for Christmas.
Yes. Get ready for Christmas.
So we're going to put the businesses out there and promote them.
We may have some newcomers come up there. We're just still getting some people come through, but nonetheless, come on and check them out and just see, how they manage their businesses. Having
the phenomenal services and products that they offer.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Well, baby, you ready to bring up our wonderful
guest?
Yes,
we are ready. Hi, Robert.
Yes, we're going to bring up our wonderful guest. Please welcome back Miss Chrissy.
Hi.
One of our other guests will be coming in shortly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Excellent.
Welcome back, guys.
Thanks for having us back. Week 4. Holy.
Boy, it's been a month. It's been a month already, guys. You believe that?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you guys came back, and I appreciate you guys, Mr. Lowell. I definitely appreciate you coming through, because I know being in Nigeria, there's a lot of things going on in Nigeria right now, and you still managed to come through. And I definitely appreciate you coming through. And we definitely pray that everything is cleared up, rapidly over there in Nigeria. We really do. We really do.
Hey, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Hey, I see that. I see that.
I wouldn't.
When you popped in, I was like,
Same.
Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't miss this. I mean, I've been here from week 1, week 2, week 3. Come on. We can finish it.
Wow. So since before I get into the questions, with everything that's happened thus far, with you guys talking about, your past and things that have been going on, like how do you? I mean, just coming back today, how do you guys feel about just releasing and letting people know, your stories? How you guys feeling?
I mean, I always feel good talking about like my journey because I know they say that God works in mysterious ways, but for me, I feel like I went through this to impact even just one person. So I know that I recently spoke at like an event with over 100 people in person, and that was my first like live in person speaking event. And like I had so many people come up to me saying like your story helped me so much. So it just kind of validates, and it sounds weird, but for me it's a validation of the strength of what I had to go through it. So whenever I can share my story, as dark and twisted as it is, it's almost cathartic. And it's a part of my healing journey. And it's me taking back my voice, and it's me taking back my truth. And it allows me to heal that much more every time I talk about it.
Wow. What about you, Noah?
Well, I feel, or rather, I know that we went through what we went through because it was not our choice. It made us who we are today. It made us stronger. It made us wiser, and it made us more matured. And it kind of helped us to be able to see things from a different perspective, if that makes sense. So I believe that diamonds come from the greatest pressure. And when you're put through what you're put through in life, you have two choices. You crack, or you let that build you for something bigger, for something better. And you become the example of, hey, she made it. Chrissy made it through this. I can do it. Hey, Mr. Jackson made it through this. I can do this. That becomes like you become a staple. You become a mouthpiece for people to be like, I can really actually do this. So it wasn't pretty what we went through, but I believe it made us who we are. It made us stronger. It made us better as parents and as human beings. And from this, we are going to spread and make sure that people come out from their own situations stronger and better as well.
Wow.
Kind of like a blessing in disguise, twisted as it is.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess with that being said, that brings us into the first question. It's like, what is life like now?
That depends on the day. That really depends on the day for me. I would love to say that, my life is sunshine and rainbows and everything as we all would. But I think especially from like coming from my trauma that I went through in my specific situation, the hardest relationship is the healthy relationship after your, toxic one, your abusive one. So for me, life is great. Like life is amazing, but I do still notice some trauma that lingers, right? And no matter how hard I work on it, no matter how hard or how far I think I've come, an instant can bring me right back there. So I would say life is beautiful chaos. I would say life is a exciting challenge, and I think that my life is full. I would say my life is full.
What about you, Noel? What is life like now?
Wow. I mean, she said it all. It is a beautiful chaos. I'm not going to lie. Like, we can pretend and be like, oh, it was amazing after I escaped. Everything was awesome. Nah, it's kind of like being to war and back. You still have your PTSD to deal with. You still have your triggers. You still have it's a struggle. It is not easy. Every day you're fighting to heal yourself, not just for you, but for everybody around you, because
Mhm.
you are not the only one carrying this baggage. You're affecting everybody, your family, your kids, your children. Everybody is affected by you. So
Mhm.
it is learning to live with yourself, learning to forgive yourself, learning to accept what you are and who you are, and understanding that it was not your fault to go through what you went through. You didn't cause the situation, but you survived the situation, and you're going to keep surviving, because if that didn't break you, nothing would break you. So for me, it is a beautiful chaos. It is living every day, understanding that yes, I may be messed up in a few ways. Yes, I might have these things lingering, this past that once in a while comes back to bite you so hard. And some days are really dark. Some days you feel like you want to sink into that depression or whatever it is. But remembering that you have come this far and seeing ahead of you so much more to get done, seeing the people in your life right now, seeing the beautiful loved ones you have, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, who are willing to walk through this with me, for me, that is worth it. And
Mhm.
it's never going to be easy, but every single day we get closer. I get closer to that sense of perfection, so to say. So it's a beautiful chaos. End of
Wow.
it all.
Wow. That's beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Again.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. So one of the questions that I do have, and I already know the answer, but just for the audience out there, as far as in a relation, are you in a relationship? Are you guys in a relationship now? I
I
know.
am very happily married to my wonderful Nigerian king. He is a godsend. He is the most kind, patient, loving human I've ever met. I often question what I did to deserve him, but he is literally the reason why I am so far in my healing journey is because of the way he loves me, has allowed me to love myself that way.
Wow. Wow.
Yay!
And I know throughout this these episodes that we've been talking about, Noel, it's really been with your dealing with your folks, your parents, and things like that. But you can answer the questions. Well, are you in currently in a relationship at this time?
Yes, I am.
Look at
And like I,
you.
like Chrissy says, it is a beautiful chaos.
Yes.
In fact, you know what? That's my slogan from now on. Beautiful chaos. That's just it. Pretty much
You can
people
pay me
are
trademark.
done.
I'm
Uh-oh.
patenting that.
Oh,
Intended.
you better ask. She said it first.
No, but like it is not easy. You still have a little bit of 1 2 1 2, but having, I wouldn't say the right person, but having the person who understands you and who is willing to go through that journey with you, that is everything. You wake up every day and you got that stuff, but they're like, you know what? Let's talk about this. And they
Hmm.
can get you in a way that people can't even understand what's going on. That is a blessing on its own. So
And even if
yeah.
they can't get you, they're patient enough to try and
Yeah.
understand you. They'll
Mhm.
try to hear you out because they can understand for the most part a lot of your triggers. But there's even going to be moments where you don't understand what's going on, let alone them, because they've never been through it. But the fact that they're patient enough and kind enough to just kind of sit with you, let you do what you need to do to get it out of your system, and then actively work with you to try and avoid those things from happening again, it speaks volumes.
And the fact that they can draw out, like they're basically a psychiatrist. Like
100%
I
on the
found myself
payroll.
talking, I found myself telling her stuff that I'm like, when I'm done, I'm like, wait, hold up, what? Play that back to me again. What just happened? And the fact that
Pandora's
she
box.
had,
Put that back in there, you know?
I'm like, but the fact that she's willing to sit and listen to my ramblings and actually get it and be like, yeah, but that's then and this is now. Like the way they're able to take you there and draw you back into reality right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know what we did to deserve these amazing people, but hey, I mean, if it's our consolation prize for what we went
It's my
through,
destiny. I'll accept it gladly. Thank you.
I'm okay with it.
Right?
Yes,
I'm okay with it, man.
that's
It's
good.
amazing.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear um, those positive things and see you guys smile. Not to say you don't smile off air, but just by talking about
To
this, you guys
see your joy, to feel your joy.
right.
Yes.
Yes. Now, Noel, with you, have you since this happened, have you seen her talk to um, any of your parents or anybody who's been there, like your siblings? Have you talked to them by chance?
Mm,
Siblings,
um,
parents, anybody?
like I said in a previous episode, yeah, we got more episode, guys. Go back, go watch them, then come back. Yeah,
Okay,
Well done.
well done. Episode.
we have so much more. There's so much back there. You gotta go back and replay it. But
Definitely
like
do.
I said back, I was like, a lot of us were just on our own. Basically, everybody is doing their stuff. So
Their own world.
You're
I
close
wouldn't
with
say,
your mom, though. You're close with your mom.
oh my God, yeah. No, no, I love my mom. I'm close with her. But I like when it comes to my siblings, apart from my mom, when it comes to my siblings, hmm, even with my twins, it's kind of like, eh, let's just agree to exist together. We exist together, but
Right.
yeah, you just do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing because, like I said, the upbringing fractured everybody. So it's not everybody that some of them are not even caring about the healing. They're just doing what they want to do. Some do not want to accept. Some became him. So everybody is just like, you know what? Do your thing. I do my thing. We're good.
And that's a part of healing and forgiveness.
Mm,
Forgiveness that people don't necessarily understand. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
you get back with the people. It
Right.
doesn't mean that you are close. Sometimes it means that you love from a distance.
Right.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Mandy to
Oh, man.
like, you can drink, it's fine. Grab your
I didn't expect to go up that quick. Grand
listen, I
evening,
saw you
everybody.
on the pause, so I say, you know what? Let me bring you up while I got a moment.
Right on the spot.
Take your sip.
Take your sip.
Hi, beautiful.
But
Hi, Maggie. How beautiful. How you doing? Welcome in.
Hi, handsome.
Welcome back.
it's very important.
Absolutely glowing. You're glowing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we'll catch you up in just a second, Mandy.
Hey, Brett.
Yep.
First off, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Good,
good.
good,
I'm
good.
blessed.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
for asking.
Glad you're here. One of the questions that we did ask, I figured we could let you go ahead and answer. Is like, I asked them, I like, since you guys have been on, you've been telling us your story, things like that. How do you guys? I mean, how are you feeling after telling the story? How do you feel? How do you feel now that you've been talking to
Um,
us and many others? How do you feel that you've been doing that?
empowering for sure. That I feel like that's just the umbrella of it. A
Mhm.
lot of emotion went into it. A lot of emotion that I didn't even think I would have. When we began this project, I was very nervous. It was
Mhm.
of the first time I ever spoke about it in public and to people, and it wasn't so much like what I would worried about what people would say. It was more of, I guess, myself actually hearing it out loud, and it's like actually facing it this time. So it's been helping me heal for sure. A lot more than I thought it could ever. So I want to thank all of you for that. Even listening to all of your stories, it has helped me.
Wow.
And hearing stories from other people too, personally that have wrote to me and DM'd me, encouraging me, telling me their stories, you
Wow.
know, right. I didn't like, I guess I didn't understand the impact. I didn't understand what telling your truth or telling your story could do for
Wow.
other people.
Mhm.
Um, it did bring me back to a little bit of vulnerability and depression, not gonna lie. Because you have to rehash everything and relive it.
Mhm.
But this time when I told my story, I definitely went in it like this is for me and for no one else.
Wow, that's
Oh my
awesome.
goodness.
That's
Hmm.
awesome. So, like I asked them before, what is life like now?
Busy for sure. Way busier than I ever thought it would be.
Wow.
um, I went through a lot of chaos when I left that. You know, I had children after that relationship and I wasn't healed completely. So I had a lot of, troubled relationships, to say the least. But I found myself. I found my voice. I learned to not be scared of not just, the person who was doing this to me, but not to be scared of nothing or no one, to be fearless in a sense of I matter. The space I take up matters. What I've been through, it matters, whether people see it or they don't. Um, I've opened up my own business. I've learned about more of my powers and my healing and just, encouraging other people to do their best. That they don't have to be stuck in that, I don't want to say dark place. Just in that, like there is a possibility. If you want it, it's yours. If you want to move on, it's possible. It's just a lot of work, but I promise you the work is worth it. And I've been I'm actually re-going into therapy starting next week, and
Amazing.
I'm going to finish letting go of whatever I'm holding on to.
Yeah.
Good for
Awesome.
you.
So I'm excited.
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Amazing.
So, can you another question? Then we'll be all covered. Are you? You spoke about it before, but for those who weren't here, that and like Noel said, go back and look at the other episodes. You guys
Right.
heard them. Are you in a relationship now?
I am. It
Yeah.
took a couple frogs, but I have met
Uh-huh.
my prince.
Yeah. She said,
um,
I like that.
Actually, somebody I dated before all of this happened. When I
Oh,
was a
that's so
teenager,
cute.
yeah, I was 16. And at that point in my life, I was very unhealed and very just into myself. And, we separated. I went through what I went through. He went through what he went through. Not to put his business out there, but he went through similar things that I have gone through,
Oh, wow.
just like in a male version.
Yep.
And he has helped me actually get through, I want to say, like the end of it,
Right.
like the this happened to me and look where he's at. That's how I knew that it was possible. Like I knew moving forward was I was going to be okay. I wasn't scared anymore. I was with somebody I was very comfortable with. Even sometimes like the toxic traits come out, and even he has to remind me, like, you're not in that type of lifestyle anymore. I get it, but we have to come back and let's
Right.
work on it. What is triggering you? And somebody that's very understanding, and not a lot of people are like that. Not a lot of people are going to take the time to know what you went through and understand what you went through and help you heal. That's the biggest form of it, because it's like you're healing together. That person's understanding you and you're understanding yourself. Even when
Hmm.
you don't understand yourself, that person still sees beauty. And that's what like really captured my heart, because I was very cold. Before him, I was very cold. I was very standoffish. I was very to myself. Um, I didn't have all of my children with me at the time, and I was very depressed inside. I never showed it outside, but inside I was very depressed and I felt very lonely. And once I met that person and I literally just told them everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the parts that I didn't want to mention to anybody, and finally letting that go, like letting it out, it was amazing. Even though it hurt that person to hear that about, a person they love, but they understood why I was the way I was and why I want to heal so much and why it's so important to me to help other people.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, you know, Chrissy and Noel described after they described their relationship. Now they ended up saying that they describe it as beautiful chaos. How do you see your relationship now? Do you agree with the beautiful? I love that.
I mean, the clouds are there. The rainbows and stuff are there, but for me, I feel like everything is just a test of your faith. You
Mm-hmm.
know, how much you're going to work for it, how much you
Facts.
want to keep it, how much does it mean to you.
Hmm.
You know, I've had a child with this person after all this time, so that brought us closer in a way. You know, I didn't think I was gonna have another baby, but I did, and even that gave me power to know that this time was gonna be totally different.
Right.
Wow.
It's been a journey for sure.
Wow.
And if I might interject a little bit, like for me, I feel like once you get to that position when you're with someone you love and care about, and you're able to, because opening yourself up and talking about this dark past, it's the most vulnerable you can be. Like it is literally you opening your soul. Once you're able to do that with somebody, they don't make fun of you, they don't ridicule, they literally just get it. They're like, you know what? Let's walk through this. You're broken, I get it, but nobody's perfect. Let's make you perfect. And once you can have that, that is beauty in itself. And like you said, it's not everybody that can have that, but there is in itself, it's its own therapy to have someone that you can just be like on your worst days, on your best days, they just know you. What people don't understand, they just know that your soul. And that to me
Yeah,
is
same.
literally the silver lining of it all.
Wow. You know what, Noel? You be coming with stuff, man. You be
So
coming.
eloquent.
What?
It's a walking greeting card,
I
like I
have to write
said.
some of that poetry
Oh my
down.
Right.
goodness.
Somebody's
Oh my
behind you.
goodness.
Like, can you repeat that? Damn it!
Yeah.
I
Oh, this is being recorded. We can all replay it later when we need to
know,
write,
right?
sentimental things.
It's on a card. What is that?
Right.
One of those cards that open up with the music inside of the card and stuff like that. You read
It's
it, you're
just his voice. It's just his recording popping out.
like, damn it.
Bestie, we just found your calling. Motivational
Yeah.
speaking and greeting cards.
Hey.
Your story. I mean, you guys. I was telling my wife. I mean, you guys' stories were like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we felt it. You know, I felt when the women, were going through and then it's like, honestly, I have to say, Noel, when you spoke and you started speaking your story, you had everybody like, God, what? Everybody was like in a different
He
zone.
about to say something.
Damn, even the ladies were like,
Yeah.
it took them to a different place, but I mean, if I can say, I appreciate you coming up and telling your story. I mean, we both do, we all do.
Most definitely.
It's like and just coming from from a man, it's like I know it takes a lot of courage just to be able to speak what you speak and about how what went on and things like that. And I commend you. I really do. I really commend you. You know what I'm saying?
And even more to that, like not even just a man, but a Black man. We all know surrounding, mental health in the Black community, right? It's, something that is a serious issue. Not only that, but also being African. Like all of these things are stacked against you, quote unquote, against you to not want to share your story. And the fact that you're like, fuck these motherfuckers, I've been through worse, let's go. Like, I am so
Yes.
proud of you for that.
Let's
So,
do this.
yeah, very
Exactly.
proud.
No, but for me, like it was worth it because, like Mandy so correctly stated, this is in its own self therapy, and once you're able to sit down and say, hey, I went through this, it wasn't pretty, but it is what it is. Once you're able to do that, then you're truly on your way to healing. And I would thank Mr. Jackson for creating such an amazing platform for amazing people like Chrissy and Mandy B to come up and show the sides of what this is, the dark side, the light side, and of course the aftermath, so that people can understand that no matter how dark it is, as far as you're not dead, get out of there. You're going to find somebody. Like some people are stuck where they are because they're like, okay, nobody's gonna love me anymore. It doesn't matter how broken you think you are. It doesn't matter how messed up you think you are. It doesn't matter how destroyed your psyche is. Somebody is willing to literally sit down with you and walk through the madness and make you whole again. Somebody would love you. And even if nobody loves you, then love yourself.
That
Because at
part.
the end of the day, you are the most important being in the on the planet. Because hey, you made it through hell. And nowhere else to go but up. So,
You know, and I'm gonna tell you this: I'm not going to take all the credit for this happening because, in all honesty, this wasn't my idea. This was the Queen's idea. The title, the business, like, the title was all the wife's idea. You know, I just got the people together. We're definitely a team. But it was her idea. She brought it up and took it and just ran with it. So I thank my wife for doing, you know what I'm saying, for bringing it. Because if not, then you guys wouldn't be here. We'll be talking about something else. But nonetheless, you know, the wife comes with the she comes with the ideas, and sometimes I have to get up and like, who are you? Like,
That's a creative right there. It's a genius.
who are you? Like, just take the card. I'll see it when I get back. Just take it. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Just take it. I don't care. Just go to the grocery store with Chrissy.
Right? Leave your son at home. Leave your son at home, though. We going shopping.
Yeah, so that'll be dangerous. I'm looking at the bill like,
Gonna get the notification on the phone.
Leave it on the roll for you. I'll ask my friend to unroll it.
What happened to? Wait a minute. What happened to where's all this stuff at? What are you doing?
You don't need to know about it, sweetheart. Don't need to know about it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
Yes. So listen, guys. I'm gonna take a quick break. Of course, I have because there's more. I'm gonna take a quick break. And so are we gonna bring it when we come back?
We are gonna come back with Dr. Tyra Gardner.
Yes.
Popularly known as Anger Dr. Tyra.
Yes. So we're gonna come back with her. So to give you a rundown, here she is right here. There you go. Yes, you want to do that often.
Yes, Tyra Gardner, psychotherapist, business coach, lifestyle therapist. Those are her handles and her website on how to reach her. Wonderful, wonderful person outside of being an outstanding professional.
Yes. So we're going to take a break. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I know we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have her up, and she's going to just...
We're going to flow.
We're going to flow with it. She's going to bless us with her presence as well. Okay?
All right.
So we're going to take a break, and I'm not going to say how quickly we're going to take one. And you guys...
Mandy, just take a drink, girl.
Grab some donuts, get your drinks. Just have your drink, girl. Just go get your drink, girl.
Don't mind me.
And we'll be right back, guys.
In the mood for some style? Well, make your way over to queenbeehustle.com. Miss Hustle don't play no games now. She gave y'all options, keychains to multi-purpose trays to t-shirts. Select products can even be customized, all of which are made by this beautiful lady here, Miss Queen Bee. Head on over to queenbeehustle.com where hustle and creativity uniquely meet. Hey, hands looking a little plain there. That's okay though, I got you. Just head over to Nail Beauty by Brittany. Wait, don't tell me you don't know who she is. That's okay, that's fine. It's a good thing that ... here. I'm here to tell you. Nail Beauty by Brittany is an upcoming establishment that makes everyone's hands look pretty to boost your confidence throughout your daily basis. You get all these custom nails at a very affordable price. With proper care, these nails can last up to 3 weeks. If you head over to Brittany's social media, you'll see all of the custom nails that she has made thus far at a very affordable price. This company was made by this beautiful young woman here, Miss Brittany. Now y'all go over ahead and get your nails pretty, y'all. I'm showing up in.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Yes. So now I'm going to bring, okay, Mandy dropped out, but she'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be back. So now I'm going to bring up,
without further ado,
Miss Tyra.
Anger Dr. Tyra.
Hey.
Good evening. How's everybody doing this evening?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Here's Mandy. Hey, Mandy, welcome back.
With the shirt change. Okay, I see you in the red.
Wardrobe change. Wardrobe. Yes. So how are you, Dr. Tyra?
I'm good. How about y'all? How's everybody doing this evening?
Good.
Everybody's
Doing well. Thank you.
Good. I was
Nice
able to
to
catch
meet
some
you.
of the beginning of the show on Facebook. I was like, okay, where everybody at? I'm looking on YouTube. I'm like, so I jumped on Facebook. I said, there everybody go.
Yeah. So Dr. Tyra, I can ask, they've been answering some questions. I had some questions for them, and they just giving some insight to them talking about what they've gone through in the past, and then just now the aftermath, like where they are. Based upon what you've seen, do you have any insight, any questions, or anything that you would like to tell them based upon what you?
Yeah, from what I seen, from what I heard this evening, it sounds like everybody is, doing what they can to, move forward with their life, and I think it was Mandy talk about you're in a new relationship now.
Oh, she read it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was hearing about that, and I know that probably was very hard to actually get started, for anybody that's gone through a lot of the things that each one of you have been through, with starting anything new. So I commend each and every one of you, because it's like, sometimes with trying to get your life back, after having so much going on, it can be very, very difficult. But you definitely have to open up your heart and your mind so that you'll be able to welcome in, new people and new things.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. You good. Go ahead.
Background.
Look, I be worried about my background too, so I know.
we expect having a little background, things to happen in the background. Before we was like, now it's like, go ahead, it's whatever.
Like I like to say, life be lifing.
Exactly.
That's it.
Sure do.
Especially with these kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but I did have one more question. If I can ask the guys, if I can ask you guys,
the guests,
like, what did it feel like when you guys started sharing your story versus now? What did it feel like? Chris, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think for me, it was scary in the beginning because the very beginning is always telling right after it happens, right after you decide to leave, or right after your first abuse, or whatever it is, right? So it's always like, I have to actually say these words out loud. And for me specifically, I was silent about my 9 years of abuse until I was out of the relationship. And then I started telling people. So for me, it was kind of an out of body experience, because it was actually admitting all of the things that I had been going through for such a long period in my life that I now had to confront on a verbal basis. It wasn't even like confronting it on a mental, emotional, traumatic, triggering, any of that. It's just verbalizing what actually happened to me. And the only way that I knew how was to say, I was in an abusive relationship. Well, what does that mean to me? So now when I talk about it, I talk about the nitty gritty details. I don't try to sugarcoat it, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, what you went through. If somebody has been in an abusive relationship that wasn't predominantly physical, a lot of people will be like, well, you weren't abused then, because abuse is just physical. Well, we know that there's multiple different types. There's financial, there's mental, there's psychological, which is the same as mental. There's sexual, there's emotional, and then there's also physical, right? Like, those are just some of the main categories. I experienced every single one in my 9-year relationship. So for me to sit down and break down each and every block of where my abuse was and kind of how long I was in each block for, I had to do separate healing for each individual block of abuse that I suffered, because once you heal from one, it's a never ending journey of healing. But once you get to a point of being okay with one, then you have to open the next one and the next one. So now when I talk about it, I like to share all of those nitty gritty details. I like to just bear it all out, because I'm not ashamed anymore of what I went through. Talking about it is going to help other people recognize that maybe they are in an abusive relationship, and there is hope, and there is success, and there is love, and there is self-love and self-worth, and all those things that come out of healing yourself afterward. So I was scared and terrified in the beginning, and now I almost, in a weird sense, look forward to sharing my story. I take pride in sharing my story, because it is my story. It's part of who I am as a person. As much as I wish it wasn't some days, it's just me. That's just me. It's what I went through. It doesn't define me, but it certainly helped shape me into the person that I am. So
Cool. What about you? What about you, Mandy?
For me, well, at first I was ashamed. You know, in previous episodes, I've said like I wasn't brought up around that, and in my family, like it was like downed upon, and like I didn't want to go through that. I was already going through enough, you know. So for 10 years, I kept that into to myself. For even like probably another 8 years, I still kept it to myself. I would give little details, but I wouldn't like go full length. I was scared for sure. I was scared out of my mind, because I was almost scared to be shut, to be quiet, or to that didn't happen. What are you talking about? Or the narrative before I could even, since I was quiet, was already put out there by the other person. I didn't see no need, because people were gonna believe what they heard anyway. And how I felt was, they don't believe me. You know, like they didn't believe me when I was going through it, or whenever they saw little things. So why would they believe me now? Going into this, it actually gave me confidence, because what I'm going through in my personal life is very much to do with what happened, what kind of spewed into my children's life, you know. And now that it's like I have to go back and undo all those things, basically. And now I want to share my story, because for my children, it's myself and my children, because now my children are starting to like really realize life for what it is. You know, as much as other people and other the way they parent are sheltered, that's fine. How I parent is, I really try not to hide anything from my children. For me, they already saw enough. They already saw a lot of bad. So the teachings I'm giving them are gonna just help them when they're growing up and put in positions like I were, where I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know who I could trust. Because for me, I didn't have anybody, you know. I just I take pride in telling my story because I've seen it in my kids even now. When my son just got a essay by his principal honors, to write about respect. You know, this is a 10-year-old boy writing about respect and what it means to him for all. And when I read that, that moment,
Wow.
I felt so proud in myself because what I went through was hard. I fought for respect for myself. I fought for the respect of my kids and for the life I want to live. I fought for that image to go away because it's not true, it's not me, you know? And now I feel like you said, I was growing earlier. That's how I feel in a sense, not fully, but I feel like I'm finally stepping out of what that is and what that was. And telling my story is helping me so much. Like I said before, other people are hearing this. Other people, even the person who's done it, you know? And for me, a little hope is putting the seed out there so that other people could, that were just as scared as I was, can know that you don't have to be. And with time, you'll learn that. Just give yourself grace.
Wow. Well said. Well said. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Noel. I'm getting, listen, I got my pen right here.
I was just
Everybody,
gonna say, where's my pen and paper? Hold on, Bestie.
I'm
yeah,
about
yeah.
to screen
You
record this.
know, hallmark type stuff.
You know he's
Oh,
going deep.
No pressure, no pressure or anything, you know.
no pressure.
Oh, boy.
Exactly. No pressure. You know. Okay, hold on. And go.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I would say a lot of us. I'll start general and I'll get specific. For a lot of people in our position, we spend a lot of time running from the truth, running from what happened, to the point that some people literally mentally block off that part of their life, and that goes ahead to create problems in the future. That was me. You know, I was scared. I did not understand what I was feeling. I did not understand anything. And being a black man in Africa who is meant to be, because typically we men are meant to be tough. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't do nothing. You were abused, really? You were abused. You're a guy, dude. Shut up. Like you have that stigma around you. So basically, it's all good. You got to put on that front, and it hurts because it's all good doesn't solve the problem. Smiling doesn't heal you. It's just you literally pushing it down and blocking it. And so I spent a long time pretending, not understanding, forcing myself to be okay, but having triggers and having the aftermath of things that I've been through. And talking about it was something that it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy talking about it. It wasn't, like I said, opening yourself up, because this is a part of you, a part of your soul that you want nobody else but you to know, because there's the stigma, there's the whole situation around it, and you basically just want to keep it to yourself, but that doesn't help. And so talking about it is therapy and it helps. And the first time I talked about it, oh boy, it was not easy. And that is why I always say the right relationship is the best, because talking about it with my woman helped, because you're like, all right, what's really going on? You're pissed off about this, you're angry about this, what's the problem? And when you say it out loud, it's a kind of epiphany, because you got to be like, oh, this happened. And you're like, oh, damn, that happened. Oh my God, that happened. Because your brain now begins to work it in. This happened. That's why you're like this. Now, can we go back and understand why that happened? And you have to unlearn everything that you've learned. It is not your fault. You are not the victim. You did not cause this. You're not crazy. You're not useless. You have to unlearn all that. And so, first time talking about it was a horror show for me. It was scary. I was lost. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to pick. I had to understand that this was my reality and I was more broken than other people. And then understanding that and accepting that. And from there on, each subsequent time I speak about it, a piece clicks in place. And the more you talk about it, the more it becomes an euphoric feeling. Like at some point it becomes pervasive in the way you just want to talk about it. Like you're in a room, someone is like, I was abused. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. So now here's what happened with me. Like you're just talking about it like that. And it becomes a therapy in of itself. And like Chrissy says, to be able to say something and have someone in a room go just in their head, it clicks in their head like, oh my God, I need to do something. Being able to reach just one single human being, that makes it all worth it in a perverse way. That means you didn't go through this for just nothing. You know, you are not a victim, you are not a crybaby. You are standing in your truth and you're speaking your own reality, and somebody out there is being touched by your message you're putting forward. And that is the beauty about it. So, first time of me talking about it, horrible. Right now, I do not care. I'm screaming from the whole world. I'm screaming with a megaphone. If it's gonna reach you, fine. If it doesn't reach you, still a cute story though. Whatever, we move.
Did you say cute story? Sir, your story is not cute. It is anything but cute, I assure you. I love you, but it wasn't cute.
That was just a positive spin, Chrissy.
All right, I know.
I told you he's gonna come
Oh
with
boy.
it. I tell you, I told you, I said he's gonna come with it at the end.
Whew,
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
Like,
felt that.
yeah. You're not gonna be closing out our show like that, sir. But
I got some competition. I feel some way right now. Like, dang.
like, hold up, sir.
I'm about to go get my notebook.
Like,
Hold on.
oh man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. This is one of the questions that we didn't get to ask before because of course somebody just shut the show down last time. But I ain't calling out nobody's name, Noel. But anyway, of course I don't take no away. So one of the questions was, and I think it still kind of fits, based upon everything that you guys have said and everything that's going on, do you guys feel safe?
You want me to go first again? I have no problem being number
Always
one.
go first. Go, girl.
I'll go first.
Come on.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so for me, I feel safe in my everyday life. I feel safe with the choices that I'm making because I learned to trust my decision making. Because when you go through something that's extremely traumatic, where you are meant to self-doubt all of the time, you're manipulated into thinking that all of these negative things about you are true. You're trusting yourself like wavers. Your compass of knowing right from wrong is just completely blown to pieces. So you have to relearn to trust yourself again. You have to kind of forgive yourself for what you went through. So for me, I feel safe in the person that I chose. I feel safe in the decisions that I'm making that are best for me. If I'm uncomfortable in a situation, I feel safe in my ability to verbalize that I'm uncomfortable and to remove myself from that situation. What I don't feel safe in is the moments of triggers. And I mean that in the sense of I'm physically safe. It's the mental aspect of it. It's that where you're completely back into that moment and the panic sets in of why am I still being triggered by this? And I know why, but in that moment, that's your first thought is why am I still being triggered by this? Why is this something that, it's happened a few other times. I've talked about it. I know what triggers me, or I think I know what triggers me, and then something else triggers it, and it's the same type of reaction. So I would say in a physical sense, in a loving sense, in a everything else sense, I feel safe. It's just in those moments of that PTSD trigger that comes back with a vengeance where you, for a split second, don't feel safe. And It's hard to explain unless you've experienced something like that. It's not like I'm in any physical harm. It's not like I'm in any emotional harm or mental harm. It's not like I'm anywhere close to that abuse, but it's like I'm that person I was when I was in that moment originally. And that's the scary part. That's the unsafe feeling, is like, oh my God, I can become that person again, which I know is not true, but in that moment, that's what you feel like. And that's a very unsettling feeling. So for the most part, I feel safe.
Cool. What about you, man? Because Noel knows I'm coming to him last.
Right?
Well, when you asked it, my face changed. I immediately felt my face drop. In a sense of physically, yes, I do feel safe. I've learned to, you know, defend myself physically. um, in my situation, it's hard to feel safe because I feel like I'm on constant, like, guard. I have to be on guard all the time because of the narcissistic person that I deal with, you know. Um, they're always throwing curbs and finding new ways to just pry into my new life, if that makes sense. And even guarding that, is a job in itself. And I guess I'm learning to find comfort and safety within myself, so that way I feel like that way I'm going to be able to completely feel safe. Um it is hard on my mental. I'm not going to lie. Mentally, it's difficult to deal with because especially when the person is, attached to your life, and they do things to trigger you, or they know how to trigger you. And even though they know how to trigger you, it still somehow just still stings, or I still have those moments where I'd be like, damn, I know what the person's doing, and I still let it get to me, you know but I'm creating safety for myself. I've created a safe place for myself, to heal in my relationship with my children. I've learned how, when I'm going through my triggers, how to, like, guide myself through them. At one point, I used to hear my heart in my ears. That's how bad my anxiety would get. And I wouldn't know what to do. And I would call people sometimes, and I would just sit there not breathing or breathing hard. It was that last time, I want to say like 3 months ago, where that's probably one of the most unsafest I've felt in a while. What Chrissy was saying, where you go back to that person for a second, and you're just like, you feel that victim. I don't want to say victim. It's just like this. I don't want to say vulnerable
Brokenness.
either.
If you feel the
It's just,
broken you again.
yeah. And you just feel like if that person wasn't, like, that person should just be in front of you, because all you feel is this, and I've learned with, just meditating and healing, me, like, writing and reading and hearing other people's stories, and doctors, and just, it really does all begin and end with me. I can't control what that person does, because they're always going to be that person. They're
Mm-hmm.
always going to try to figure out a way to antagonize me, get to me, because they know they can. But little do they know, I'm doing the work on this side to put that wall up, and brick by brick, it's becoming up. Like, it's building. Even, I'll say, today, I had to face it, and finally see the person face to face after a couple of months. And it was amazing to me how it felt like, literally, like power coming out of me, of the bubble I created for myself, to, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
No one can touch you. No one can say anything to you. You are fine. You had a good day. Let's leave it like that. They're not going to, just the sight. I don't know about anybody else, but just the sight for me gives me anxiety. Just knowing that person's going to be right there in 5 minutes, my heart starts, like, I had to learn how to control all of that, because I felt like I was going to kill myself. So I felt very unsafe for a long time. And now, probably about a month or so, is when I'm starting to finally tell myself it's okay. Like, it's okay to love and love without thinking, is this person going to flip? Is this person going to change too? Even though it's been 2 years, you know, a person can, that's the mentality you take from that. And I didn't know how to separate it. So I wasn't even making other people feel safe because I was so like within my own emotions, you know. But again, lately I've just been feeling lighter. I've been talking about it a lot more. Um, Even before, when people would ask me like lately, why are you talking about it so much? And it's not like I'm holding on to it like I want to. It's just hearing it. Like Noah was saying, hearing it is like that epiphany, like, wow, that really happened to me. Or wow, I really went through that. Or like, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm like a psychic empath. I could see the things all over again, literally play by play. So those things, they play into me not feeling safe as well. And that's another thing I'm working on, to get those visions away and the emotion, detach myself completely from it.
Mhm.
It's hard.
Gotcha.
And in those feelings of unsafe, you immediately feel that fear that you felt in that moment. Like when you were saying, it's almost as if that person should be in front of you because you feel that fear. You feel that like, oh my God moment, right? Like panic
And
that
for
we
me,
lived in a
nobody can
state
make me
of,
feel safe. Nobody can
right,
make me feel safe but
but
myself.
yourself. Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the one thing I've learned. Like, if I'm going to heal and I'm going to let this go, as much as people want to help me, I have to help myself. Because that's the
Yep.
only way I'm going to love people correctly. I'm going to trust people correctly. And I'm going to trust myself and love myself correctly. Because I
Hmm.
can't give out what I don't got.
Facts.
I can't pour into other cups if I don't have water of my own. So,
Hmm.
but little by little, I have faith.
I was
Yep.
going to ask another question, but you kind of answered it before I asked it, so it's all good. My question was, does I know it's a self healing thing, but does your spouse or the people that you with help with your safety? That was going to be my question. You know,
Well,
I
they're describing that in their moments of trauma, they're alone.
right.
So,
right.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They
So,
can't do nothing. As
So for
much as
me,
he wants
sorry,
to,
but
he tries. It's okay. He tries. You know, when I'm having those moments of like, I just want to cry, or I just want to be in a mood, he can, he's starting to learn, like, okay, I didn't do anything, you know? So is this just you, like, having a moment, or like something triggered you? And as the moment I say yes, if he can't understand it, he'll just back away, because he sees it. At first, it used to be a fight, because the person thinks it's them, or they think it's you, like there's something wrong with you. And so you start opening up. And now, little by little, again, that's why it's very important to heal before you want to get into a committed relationship, so that you're not giving somebody your broken self. You don't want that. I learned that the hard way. Like, sometimes that made me sad. Like, I have to heal while I'm with somebody. You know what I mean? And it's hard because the biggest thing for me was, it hurts me to hurt people I love. It really does. I feel it. I feel it hard. And to hurt somebody that's hurting, like, that loves me and just wants good for me, that's hard to watch, because they watch helplessly, like, I can't help them. Like, nothing I'm doing is helping them, not talking to them, not hugging them, not kissing them. Like, I just got to leave them alone. And they make them feel bad because they're like, they don't want me, so it takes time.
yeah,
and I feel that, like for me, my husband is usually around when I have those moments of triggers because again, it happens just in conversation. It could be a conversation that's similar. Like there's pretty standard conversations that people have in relationships. It could have been a similar conversation that had a completely different outcome in the past, but even just the similarity of a conversation can bring me back there. And when I get really, really, really triggered, I either start sobbing unconsolably or I just literally start hyperventilating. And my husband and I have worked out this system because, as what Mandy was saying, you should really heal yourself before you're in a committed relationship. I agree with that statement. However, there is a portion of you that you can't heal until you're with somebody, because there's a vulnerability that you don't allow anybody to get into, that you've got it locked away and safe. And then as someone starts to pull down your walls, you start to realize, oh shit, I didn't experience this when I was on my own. I didn't have to, really put the work in here, because I was never expecting to feel this way, because no one was ever allowed into that spot. So you have to actively heal yourself before getting a relationship, but you also have to actively heal in a relationship, because you're going into uncharted waters. The healthy relationship after the toxic one is the hardest one. And it's because it's uncharted waters. You don't know what that's like. 9 times out of 10, people don't know what that's like. So for me, my husband and I have worked out this system where if I'm in a trigger, first I verbalize it. Like, I'm triggered right now. We need to stop this conversation. And he's very good at, quickly acting too, because there have been times in the beginning where he's like, what do you mean? Like, we're just in the middle of a conversation. Like, what do you mean we have to stop it? And then that almost was more triggering for me. So we've gotten very good at our communication as far as, I'm extremely triggered. I don't know exactly right now what's causing it. So we need to stop this conversation. He's like, okay. He's like, do you need a hug or do you need me out of the room? And that's basically our communication style. And whichever one I need at that moment, I'll communicate to him and he will act accordingly. And I know that sounds a little bit fucked up, to act accordingly, but in those moments, that person just needs whatever support they need, whether it's, I need you to step away or I need to hold you close. That person that chooses to be with you needs to know that and needs to respect that in order for it to be successful. And that's just, it's a sad burden for them to bear, but if they're choosing to be with you, that's something that they're also choosing, is to be a support to you in your healing. So, yeah.
Tracy, would you say that therapy has brought you to this point of being so clear on, you're clear on steps, routines, rituals?
So
I know I was going to say she had a whole plan. That's, like the plan that you have, the boundaries, the limits that you've set. I mean, everything is like highly organized, and I think that's very good.
Thank you. Fun fact about me, I've never gone to therapy a day in my life.
Really?
I was always the friend that was like the therapist friend. In high school, I studied like mental health and things like that. So I always had an interest in becoming a therapist. That was a path that I wanted to go down. My ex didn't want me to go down, obviously, because he was a narcissistic fuck and didn't want me to find out. But I didn't go down that path. But mental health has always been something that's really interested me. So it's something that I've always just kind of researched on my own. So I kind of just therapied myself into a sense of healing. And it doesn't work for anybody, or doesn't work for anybody. Doesn't work for everybody. There are a lot of people that do need to go and speak to an outside voice, and they do need to have that, safe space. I just kind of created that for myself. And I'm a scheduling coordinator by nature. So following schedules and following like basically a plan is what I live by. So it was very easy for me to instill things that I researched myself into my life and how it kind of transpired. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you did good. You did
Thank
good.
you.
You did very good. And I would say, don't knock that out. You know what I mean? In regards to thinking about becoming a therapist. I say the door is still open.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Even if you decided to do, support groups and things like that, because you're already on the road, with healing yourself, and with now speaking out and talking about everything, you definitely, are helping others now just by being on this platform this evening. In the past few weeks, you're helping others to be able to have a voice and talk about this. Each and every one of you that's on here.
Right.
So.
Wow.
So I would say if you think about it, think about it.
I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to give that some more thought, because it is something that is heavy on my heart a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a dream, girl. That means do it. You saw Noel? He was a runny like.
Mr. Noel.
Oh
Same,
boy.
same question. See, I save you for last because I know. Just go. Just
Okay, like Chrissy says, not everybody can self. Oh God, this is gonna be an interesting English.
Therapize, self therapize. We're making it
What
a word.
she said. What she said. Nobody can. What she said.
Keyword alert.
Oh, so like with me as well, I studied psychology because my parents did psychology as a minor. So I was able to read up on that. I'm also interested in neuroscience, neurology, and all that. So I was able to self therapize as well. And when it comes to security, whew, that is a difficult one because I usually ask this question: am I ever really safe? Because it takes a lot to get up and be like, I'm safe. Because you have the psychological hold, you have the blocks in your head. You can be walking, and the way someone touches you, that's a reaction. You can be sitting down, the way someone says something, not even to you, to literally another person, that's a reaction. And like Mandy says, in that moment, you are on your own. It doesn't matter how many people are around you. It doesn't matter if the entire army is there for you. In that moment, you're on your own. You are in that bubble. And sometimes the old instincts kick in. Sometimes it's to cry. Sometimes it's to scream. Sometimes it's to literally lash out and fight. Sometimes it's to cuss out. So I think security is kind of something that for every single day we strive for. I strive for it every single day. I work for it every single day because even right now, I can tell you 100% that I feel secure, neither in myself or in anything else, because a single word, a single smell, a single sound, noise, anything can trigger. But it is that self awareness in that moment that, hey, I am not back there. This is me, this is now. And I have people that got me. And learning to listen to those voices when someone is like, are you okay, bro? Are you okay? Calm down, breathe, listening to that and drawing yourself, because that insecurity is literally you going back to that place you were in that moment, in that sound, drawing yourself back from that with those voices, with that thought, literally tethering yourself to the reality. That is how I work for my security. And I am blessed to have people in my life that make me feel secure and help me in my journey to finding more security. My best friend, my mother, my girlfriend. I have amazing people around me, a support system. And so in them, I feel secure. But again, there is always still that psychological lingering, that psychological hold, those remnant traumas that are still there. That no matter how secure you are, no matter how you convince yourself, no matter how many people are there for you, it takes a single sound, a snap, something to just jerk you into that state of mind. But that power to pull yourself back, that is the right step towards security. So I am more secure now than before. But it is not easy. I gotta say, it is not easy.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow,
Oh shit.
man. I knew you was coming with it. Told you.
Oh, oh boy.
Well, I knew coming into this subject and this month and this series and everything that with everything being said and done, we would need to hear from and have the support of a licensed professional, a clinician. It was one of my main goals to make sure we had someone in here. We are here, we will listen. Have no professional or medical advice to offer.
Hey, sometimes people need an ear. That's it.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
That's true.
yes.
So we brought in Dr. Tara Gardner as a wonderful resource. We didn't even let her introduce herself or explain the years and the levels and the areas of expertise. If you wanted to do that, Dr. Tyra, we will give you the floor.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I know I just came right in talking earlier.
We
And
can't even
so my
ask
name,
you immediately to begin.
Yes, we did.
No,
look,
no,
I
You
just
did
came
you're
right
right in.
in.
amazing. You're
I just
amazing.
came right in. Look, I just joined right in with everybody. So so my name is Dr. Tyra Gardner, and I'm a psychotherapist. And so I specialize in anger management, um, stress, phobias, as well as abuse. Um, I work with families, I work with children, I do a lot of work with women. I work also with a lot of college students, um, basically helping everybody to overcome a lot of the things that they have been challenged with over the past few years, because we know over the past few years things have been difficult, but a lot of people have been experiencing things throughout their life and they haven't had the time or opportunity to even talk about it because they've been masking it with other things, right? And so I've been actually in practice for over 25 years. It's like every time I go to do the math on that, I go, "Ooh, wait a minute." Look, but it's
Blessings.
but I
Blessings. Mhm.
over 25 years, and so I love what I do. Every time I try to leave the profession, I always end up coming back, and and when Angelique contacted me about this, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, yeah, definitely. I said, because I know with my anger management and domestic violence, they go hand in hand. Right. And the thing is, we want people to, be able to talk about, what they're going through. And each one of your stories, that you talked about, this is your life, right? These is things that you've gone through. And believe it or not, talking about it is a form of therapy, and so I heard Mandy say, people like, why are you still talking about it? Why you talk about it? Talking about it is a form of healing.
Hmm.
This is how you're healing. Yeah, and it's okay. Sometimes people will say things and, make you feel some type of way for sharing your story, but at the end of the day, as long as you feel comfortable with it, and if talking you feel like your story is helping, what you've gone through is helping someone else, right? Because at the end of the day, we grow through what we go through, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, and so I commend each and every one of you for having the courage to tell your story, because self-love is everything, and building your self-esteem and doing everything that you have to do so that you can be productive and you can do everything that you need to do to be there for your families, right? So I mean, I commend each and every one of you. God bless all of you, on your journeys. And if anything y'all
Mhm.
need, I'm here,
I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
So do I.
most
Thank you so
definitely.
much.
Thank you
Bless
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much
Y'all
for
welcome.
everybody watching, for
Yes.
everybody that's here. Dr. Tyra is a resource. If you need a therapist, if you need a listening ear, if you want some help working through your issues, and we all have them,
Hmm.
contact her. She's a wonderful person on top of being a phenomenal professional.
Yes. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Thanks
Thank you.
so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you
We'll
so
definitely
much.
appreciate
We
you.
appreciate our beautiful guests who have participated these 4 weeks, pouring out your heart, telling your life, being vulnerable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was an idea. It was something that I wanted to do, and you helped it come true. It
Yes.
was a phenomenal, beautiful, heart wrenching experience hearing the pain that you went through, but it's
Yes.
so beautiful to see that you come out shining on the other side.
Yes. Me and my wife, we did talk. We did talk, and with domestic violence, not to, we're bringing awareness because this is the month for awareness, but domestic violence is happening every day, every month, and things like that. So what me and my wife did talk about was in future shows, we're not going to wait until October to bring awareness to it. We may have a show here or there talking about it, bringing on people to tell the story so we can continue to bring awareness to what's going on. So we're not just going to save it for the month of October. We're going to do future shows where we're going to have some other people on so they can tell their story.
Yes.
We may have you guys back on and maybe just have support for those people who come up, because you never know.
It's because of your bravery to
Yes.
share your story that so many more people have come forward and say that happened to me,
Yes.
or I went through such and such, or he almost killed me, and I would like to talk about it and
Yes.
encourage somebody.
Yes.
So people, men and women, and there's a lot of people who can't even watch because they're triggered and they're not ready yet.
Yes.
But
Right.
that's a form of awareness too,
Right.
because
Right.
that's letting them know where they're at in their healing journey and how much more work they need to do to get beyond. And hopefully they will get to a point where they can even listen to someone else's story without being so triggered that, they don't even want to, they're afraid to listen.
Right.
So you're helping so many people.
Yes. I might be doing a special edition before this month is out, because believe it or not, because of you guys coming forward, I don't know if anybody's seen a lot of stories or maybe seen clips or whatever, but there are times where I talk about it. And because you guys have come forth and started telling your story, I think I have 4 other people who want to tell their story. So I might be
That's
doing
amazing.
just to be able to have, it won't be a show. It might just be some clips that I'll post, and I'll post it as like a live showing. So you'll be able to see their stories. So just look out for that.
Completely inspired by your examples.
Exactly. So people are coming out, and I definitely want to thank you guys for doing what you did, because, I would say, because of we're here, you guys have started something, and not to say it hasn't been started, but for us, you guys have started something, and we thank you. We thank you. You guys were amazing.
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 Oh,
Thank you guys so
I'm
much.
so happy. Thank you, honestly, for even creating a platform like this. I know I said this many times before, but I want to say it one last time. Like,
You
thank
can
you,
keep going.
thank
Go
you.
ahead. We'll listen.
Genuinely. No, I really do mean it. All jokes aside, thank you for creating a platform, not just for us, but obviously for many more people, that it's just an outpour of love, and hopefully many more people get inspired and encouraged to speak up. And that's just really what it is. Speak up, speak out, and we got you.
And, and thank you for taking the time to do it right and to be mindful of how we are feeling and to make it a safe space for all of us to come up here and be courageous. You guys made it easy. It's like talking to family at this point. So thank you for creating that atmosphere for us. And if anybody watches this later, if you ever need to talk, you can message me on TikTok, or not that I'm plugging myself, but listen, I'm here for y'all, like, for support. My TikTok name is It's Chrissy Bitch with 4 eyes, because
Yes.
that's how I do. Okay. That is also my IG, so you can't miss me. But for real, I am a zero judgment zone because I've probably been through it. And if I haven't been through it, I know people that have been through it. So if you ever need just a safe space to vent it out or to ask questions, I'm there for y'all.
We have a comment from Miss Brittany. Thank you for your vulnerability. Speaking definitely helps. My sister was murdered September 22 due to DV. So thank you so much for sharing and bringing awareness. Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm so sorry for the loss of your sister.
This kills me, man.
I am so.
Oh, that
It's
triggered me.
it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright.
It's
Brittany,
just so
if you ever
sad,
need to talk,
because people don't think about it. You don't think about, in your anger, you're really hurting somebody. You're hurting somebody's kid. You're hurting somebody's sister or somebody's aunt, mom. Like, what are you gonna do and explain when you mistakenly do something? It's not worth it, And it's just scary. And I think about that all the time. I said this the last episode. Lucky to be here, because there's a lot of times that I thought I was gonna die. And my heart goes out to you, Brittany. I want to say that publicly. My heart goes out to you, and I love you so much.
We love
I'm
you so
so
much,
sad.
Brittany.
We do.
But
Thank you for sharing that.
with you all sharing over these shows,
Mm.
is going to help prevent somebody from being killed. We didn't make it with her, but think of all the hundreds or thousands of people that we may never know that you have saved just from sharing your story of, hey, I got out. And that sparks that little bit of faith in them. Well, hey, if they made it out, I can make it. I can make it out. I can get out.
You don't have to apologize at all, Britt. It's
No, no.
no. There's no
Oh
apology.
no.
No,
No.
You
no,
don't have
don't
to
ever
apologize.
apologize.
And
Yeah.
thank you for feeling
I
safe
got
enough to share that.
No.
Mm.
The difference that they are making is amazing. They are sparking the faith in a lot of people who are in the situation, who felt hopeless, and now they're like, well, if they made it out, I can make it out.
Yes.
Definitely.
I
Listen,
don't
And
want
I
to say
got it
that yes
too.
we can type of thing, but like
Oh,
yes the fuck we can. Every single one of us. Okay?
yes, we
Yes.
Every
can.
single one.
Speak up, please. Please
and
Yes.
we
speak
have
up.
posted the numbers. If you're the emergency numbers for every area that we can possibly list. Um, I don't know if do we have them somewhere on a website where they can see them.
I'll try to figure to make sure I
If
can put it on the
not,
website. I'll
go
put
to
it
our
up.
previous shows and rewind. I know that the general number is 988, right?
Yes,
For domestic violence
there's a universal
assistance.
number for I don't know if I put it up here, but
And
there is.
worst case scenario, call 911 or your local 911 number and they'll connect you.
There we go. I did put it up. I feel good.
Look at you.
Oh, and guys, I gotta just say, like, no matter what's going on, no matter the situation, for someone to physically, emotionally, or otherwise dominate you, they don't love you. Just be fact with yourself. They do not love you. I don't care the story they want to tell you. Oh, I was abused as a child, whatever. And I keep saying this, you were abused doesn't make it right for you to do it to somebody else because you have a thinking faculty. And you cannot tell me you cannot understand wrong from right. There is no excuse. So he or she might have their own pathetic excuse of, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, no is no. You do not deserve to be hurt. Your mother and your father did not bring you to this world to be somebody else's punching bag or to be somebody else's therapy rag. You deserve better. Your kids deserve better. You deserve a life. Do not stay in that situation because you're holding on to love that was once there. He does not love you. So I'm just gonna say, you got to move on, you got to move out, and you got to do something drastic to get out of that situation. Call a friend, call your 911, call the emergency lines, do anything, but get out there and get out there with your head so that you can live to tell a story and be like, yo, this is how it was. Do not be like me. Because at the end of the day, if we all come together to form a community and tell our stories, we can help stop this one home and one house at a time. And personally, I have to thank the amazing people, the amazing support that I've had. Once again, shout out to my bestie, Mrs. Chrissy, on top of that, the Queen Bee herself. She's amazing. Like, I didn't even understand all the stuff, but like she said, if you got anything, DM her. It's real. Like I am a testimony about her. Like I am able to share my stuff because I was able to talk about it with her, and she was able to be like, "Oh yeah, that's a trigger. Oh yeah, that is this," and I was like, "Oh, that's what's going on." So when you have people like her in your life, it's amazing when you have real people in your life. So anybody who tells you, because I've seen situations where people are like, "Oh, you gotta stay, you gotta manage, it's gonna get better." That is not a friend. Get that person out of your life and never speak to them again. That is I don't even know what to call them, but you
Enabler.
can exactly. That is literally someone signing up your death warrant. Do not listen to them. Get out. Find someone who can listen to you. And at worst, if worst comes to worst, call 911. So, Chrissy, I want to give a special thanks to you. You're amazing. And I love
I
you
love
so
you.
very much.
I love you
Always
too.
will.
No thank you needed. I
Yeah,
love you.
yeah, yeah. Mandy, Oh my goodness. Whatever brought us
Yes, sir.
together. These are super women, guys. Like these are super women. If again, go back to episode 1 and watch till now, then you understand what I'm saying. But these are super women. It is
So,
not easy.
so
Oh,
hey,
I
so
appreciate you.
Noel,
Thank you.
you closing out our show for me? How's we doing? Sir, sir,
I think he
sir.
needs a job. He needs to be a host.
Right?
Somebody get him a show.
He's auditioning for you right now. This is his audition sequence. We're all just part of it.
oh Lord. Mr. Jackson, you're amazing.
He needs
Just,
his own
You're
YouTube.
amazing.
just how
Miss
you
Angelique,
speak is awesome. How you speak is amazing.
the queen herself.
Yes, yes. I love
She
you
is
guys.
the reason.
I do. Dr. Tyra, thank you so much for coming and blessing us with your presence,
Thank you so much for having me on.
for your words. And
Thank
I'm
you,
pretty
Dr.
sure
Tyra.
with what me and my wife do, we'll be calling you again.
Yes.
We will be calling you again. And
Please follow her on IG.
Please.
She does weekly lives.
yes,
A wealth of information and resources at Anger Dr. Tyra on Instagram.
yes. And if you forget it, just hit us up. You know, we'll let you know. Wife got on speed dial, stuff like that. You know, we got. Yes. So Noel, if it's okay with you, I'm going to close out the show, sir.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
As always.
Listen, I've had so much. You know, I've had throughout the stuff. We still had fun. Before, you know, during and after, we just and I love you guys.
We
Everybody
appreciate you
on the
so
panel. I love you guys for coming through, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Everybody that's up there. Noel, Dr. Tyra, Mandy, Chrissy, love you guys. Appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you guys in Facebook. Thank you guys in the audience. Brittany, we love you. We
so
love
much,
you.
Brittany.
We love
Love you.
We love you. Everybody
We love
who
you
came
all.
through, we thank you so much for coming through and joining us in this series. There will be
It was
more.
amazing.
There will be more, but not just anytime soon. But there will be more.
More to come.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming. We love you. And we'll see
Much
you
love,
next week.
everybody.
Much love.
Much
Thank
love.
you.
Night,
God bless you.